Once the edges that require sanding have been completed, we will go ahead and paint the edges. I'm going to show you how to mix the paint at this time. It's a two-part epoxy resin, part A and part B. Each one of these containers, these are 4-ounce containers. We're going to go ahead and put 4 ounces of part B and 4 ounces of part A. You may want to store the part B in a room temperature. If you have it in the cold, it'll tend to get real thick. So be sure to keep it room temperature. And if you're not painting that many pieces and you just want to make a small amount, it's going to be you're going to use 4. If you're going to do half of it, you would do 2 ounces of part A, part B, 2 ounces of part A, and then you'll do 1 ounce of pigment, and then you'll do 6 ounces of thinner. But I recommend, if you have quite a few pieces to sand, go ahead and make 4 ounces. It'll last for about, depending on the temperature. If you're in a room above 100 degrees, yeah, you'll probably be able to use it for about maybe 3 to 4 hours at the most. Once the paint starts getting thick, it's time to make another batch. Now we'll put in the part A. Again, 4 ounces. This one's a lot thinner, so you're okay with that one. The part B, again, is the one that'll get thick on you. If you're using 4 ounces of part A and 4 ounces of part B, you're going to add 8 ounces of lacquer thinner into the mix. Once the lacquer thinner has been added, you can find one you can put in the pigment. And as I said, if you're using 4 and 4, you'll use about 2 ounces of pigment. If for some reason when you're applying the paint and it doesn't go on dark, you may have to add a little bit more black pigment to the mixture. Once everything is added, you can start to stir it. Make sure you stir it well, that none of the resin is left on the bottom. Again, just like the part B, the resin is pretty thick. Sometimes it'll stick to the bottom of the container. So make sure that you stir it well. And occasionally you can raise up, and if you see it's still thick like that, continue mixing. Once there are no lumps at the bottom of the container that you're mixing, and the paint is thin, as you can see, you'll begin to paint. You may want to use some latex gloves in order to avoid the paint getting on your hand as you paint. You can grab some of the cloth, fold it around, and put tape around it to use it as an applicator. also use another rag to wipe it off. It's basically like a stain. You'll apply it and then you'll remove it. Put a little paint on your rag, as so, and then begin to paint. Now, as this is a resin paint, you only want to do small sections at a time. If you try to paint the whole thing first, the paint will start to begin to be tacky. So you want to wipe it really, really good. Make sure that you leave no residue behind. Again, paint sections at a time.